Stafford here with Adventure Kiteboarding. I want to show you the differences between the Waterman's Manufacturing Group big pump and the Ocean Rodeo big pump. There's a price difference between the two, and there's some subtle features, but those features may be important to you. So I'll give you the information and you can figure out which pump will be better for you. So starting with the Ocean Rodeo, other than coming in a box, which really doesn't matter one way or the other in my mind, this is what the Ocean Rodeo big pump is, and for example, this is what we've come to know as the standard pump. This is a Cabrina standard pump, standard hose. So a lot larger, basically 2.9 liters of air per stroke. So it's more air moving into your kite, quicker, easier to pump. A little one-way versus two-way valve. So basically screw this in and it causes you to have air going into the kite on the upstroke and the downstroke. You unsnap it, downstroke only. I guess that could be a thing if you were not that tall or not that strong and you really wanted to make it easier on those last few high pressure strokes. You could go into the single mode. Now the hose, there's a difference in the hoses as well. So the Ocean Rodeo hose is your standard hose material. It sort of stays in a shape, it holds its shape. You would do the notch twist thing to put it into the pump. And then on the ends, we have the common ends. So this is sort of the standard, like I think Core uses this with no fittings. Cabrina, Slingshot, again, you just would do the half twist on there. You've got the old style screw-on one, and so lock that guy into place. You've got the really old style smaller fitting, right? So the old like single inflation point ones, and then you've got the friction fit for the Boston valve one. So four hose attachments. Pressure gauge, the ergonomic style handle, you have the clip style leash, okay? So that's this one. The difference now between that and the Waterman's, same size, different hose, different attachments, similar leash, again, the same leash style. So it's the hook. This one for single or dual action is just a turn of this sort of switch or lever, right? But now the hose, this is the real difference. The hose is not that same material. This hose does not hold its shape. This is a floppy hose. And so what that does is when you're attaching it to your kite, it doesn't want to twist itself off because it sort of doesn't hold that memory. The attachment to the pump itself is a screw. So that attaches by twisting on, right? So a little different there. Be careful, obviously, if you ever have that unattached to not get sand in there. But this hose, again, is much more flexible, much more bendable. It's not a memory foam or a memory plastic kind of thing, so this is easier to put on your kite. So the other difference then, besides the hose, are the attachments. Waterman's Manufacturing Group has more attachments, and one of them is kind of important in my mind. So this is a screw-on Boston valve. So those of you who have like ozone kites, normally the Boston valve is like this, and you just press it in and it's a friction fit. This one you actually thread on so it'll hold it in place. Then you can attach your hose, and it won't come popping off when you get to the higher inflation numbers, like 5-6 pounds. It's not going to kick itself off. Don't know again how big of a deal that is to you, but I personally fly ozones, and that's a big plus for me. The other thing that this includes is the Liquid Force and Blade Max Flow adapter. So you get that large one there, and then of course you get the standard Core system one. I think Core is the one that uses that. The old style Cabrina screw-on, and then the really old style 9mm single inflation point one. And then you get the little attachment lines so you decide which ones you want. You thread them up and attach them to the hose end, so you've always got them there. So little pouch that you can put them back into so you don't lose them. Maybe for the ones that you're not using and you're not attaching to the hose full time. So those are really the differences. Now the difference then in price is $10. So the Waterman's is $70 and the Ocean Rodeo is $60. A lot of money for a pump, I get that, I understand. So you have to decide is it worth it spending the extra money to have a faster inflation with an ergonomic handle, an ergonomic base? You can switch from single action to dual action. You can have the hose that is a little more flexible. But other than that, these guys are more expensive than the smaller pumps, but they both have the pressure gauge. They both have single dual action. You can tell that the exterior shape and everything is the same. The design is the same. We just have difference in hose, difference in attachments. And you decide if that's worth it to you, or do you want to go back to the small standard one and save yourself some money. So again, the Ocean Rodeo 60, the Waterman's Manufacturing Group 70, and that's basically the situation with these two pumps. Decide which one, if it's worth it for you to spend the extra money, or stick with the old style, the little guys, and no pressure gauge. Again, any questions, always welcome to give us a call or an email at adventurekiteboarding.com, 414-367-WAVE.